Have you ever wondered how to set a record in a lookup relationship in Salesforce using a Salesforce Flow? Today's your lucky day. Coming up in the next video, I'm going to show you how. Hey, welcome back. All right, so let's get started on this. So basically the ask from the business on this recent project I've been on, the CPQ project that I'm helping out with and on the deployment team, the ask is that within a Salesforce quote, depending on what the billing country is in the billing country field, they have a separate lookup field called subsidiary, and they want that subsidiary set to North America, Europe, APJ, depending on what countries are put in the billing country field. So we already have a separate object called subsidiaries. So if I go over here to Salesforce, and I'm just going to show you what the subsidiary field looks like. So I'm going to go over here and just type in subsidiaries. And there's just 3 records in here. I call it subsidiary APJ, subsidiary Europe, and subsidiary NA for North America. So these values will get set in the quote object. If we go back to the quote, I can show you this. So if I go into this quote and I just scroll down, here we have the subsidiary field. It's a lookup relationship. And you can see here there's all the values. But depending on what we put in the billing country down here, billing country here, that will determine what gets populated in that lookup relationship with the appropriate related subsidiary. So if they put Canada, USA, or Mexico, we're going to populate North America. The North American subsidiary, Paris, UK, Ireland, Germany will populate Europe, and then the Australia, China, Japan one will get APJ. So all right, so let's make this happen. So let's go into Salesforce now, and we're going to create a flow. So let's create a new flow. Okay, it's going to be a record triggered flow. Okay, I'm just going to do when it's either created or updated. Okay, and we're going to look on the quote object. Okay. I'm going to do fast field updates. That's more efficient. We always just want to be cognizant of the environment and make sure we're using it most effectively. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a decision element, because we need to decide what billing country it is. So if it's Canada, Europe, APJ, any of those countries that fall under that subsidiary, we need to take the appropriate action depending on what it is. So let's just call this decision point which subsidiary. Name doesn't really matter, but this is just what I'm going to call it, just in case anyone comes in here after me and wants to have a good idea of how this is working. And the first branch in the decision tree we're going to have is North America. So we're just going to put NA right there. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in the conditions for when it should be a North American subsidiary. So I'm going to click on record, which is the record of the quote that would be currently in play. And then we're just going to go to the bill to country field, and we're going to type in Canada. And then we're also going to type in US. Now, since United States can be spelled multiple ways, I'm going to add a couple more conditions here just to make sure if someone types in a different way. So I'm just going to add in a different way of saying US. So we'll just put USA. And then we'll add Mexico. Okay, so that covers off our North American North American countries. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a what's called a get record. So it's going to get the record, go get the record of the subsidiary object that I want to insert into that subsidiary field on the quote. So I'm going to call this get subsidiary record NA, okay? And this is going to be on the subsidiary object, okay, right there. And we're going to say, it wants to know, well, which record do I know which to get from the subsidiary object? I want to say when the name equals sub, I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to copy the name right here so I don't typo it. Where the name in the subsidiary object is subsidiary NA, that's the one I want you to go and fetch, okay? And we're just going to store the first record, and we're just going to store all fields. Okay. So after that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do an assignment node. And the assignment node is going to basically do the inserting for us into that field in the quote. So we're going to say populate record. Okay. And so it's going to ask us here in this assignment node, it's going to ask, yeah, well, what field in the quote do you want to have be populated with that subsidiary NA record? We're going to say we want the subsidiary record filled in. And then we're going to go down here and we're just going to say we want to insert the record ID. Because when dealing with population of records, it's always best to deal with the record ID, okay? So I'm going to have the record ID of the subsidiary NA record inserted into the subsidiary lookup in the quote, okay? So that is our first branch. So let's just go and test it. This should be enough to verify that our flow is working. So I'm going to click save, and a naming convention that I like to do is put the name of the object that the quote is triggering off first, and then I put the type of flow it is, so record triggered, and then after that I put a short description such as, populate subsidiary field. That's good enough. Okay, hit tab, and then click save. All right, so we're just gonna click activate here, okay. Okay, I don't know if you caught that, but if you go back to the starting decision point in my flow and click edit, you can see here I have all the and operator for all these. So this is wrong, this won't work, because this is saying essentially I would need to have Canada, United States, US, and Mexico all in the billing field, which would never happen. So we need to switch this to the or, okay? Now that looks a lot better. So let's hit okay or done. I'm gonna hit save. And then I can hit activate. You could debug it first, but let's just hit activate and test it that way. So I'm gonna go to a quote. And let's do new quote. So I'm going to go into the billing country, the bill to country. I'm just going to put in United States, okay? And that's it. I'm just going to hit save. Now let's see whether the subsidiary field got filled in. So I'm just going to scroll down here and voila, there we go. Got filled in. So as far as the rest that's happening here, we'll do this. It's the same. I'll show you how that works, how the decision points work out. So let's go back to our flow. Just hit refresh here. Okay, so I'm going to click on my decision, and I'm going to add another branch here. So this one will be Europe, okay? And if we check the countries we need to include in Europe, it's Paris, UK, Ireland, and Germany. So we'll go down to our record, and the build to country equals Paris. Okay. Ireland. Germany. Okay, and then we'll change this to or. Either one of those, we're going to then populate the subsidiary field with the subsidiary Europe record. So let's hit done. Okay, and same thing, we're going to get records. Get subsidiary Europe record, okay. And we're going to be looking on the subsidiary object, scroll down. And then of course, how do you want me to, what record, how do you want me to identify it by? So we're going to say by the name field where it equals, I was going to grab the name from the subsidiary, but I think I can type it in here. Okay, so you get the first record, store all records. Okay, so that looks good. And then we're just gonna do the assignment. Populate subsidiary Europe. Okay, and it's gonna ask us, well, what field do you wanna do the assignment for here? So we're gonna say the subsidiary lookup record on the quote, and then we're gonna have it equal to the ID of the subsidiary object. And this automatically, let me just go back. I should have mentioned this before. Whenever you do a get records, it will automatically create a variable for it. So we already have this relationship there. So I'm just gonna peruse or traverse the one for Europe, which is this one, and then we're just gonna choose the ID like that, okay? And we'll hit done, okay? I'm gonna save my flow, save it again. It's gonna save as a new version, and we're gonna hit activate, okay? And now let's test her out again. So I'm going to just create a new record, a new quote record. And I'm gonna put in here Paris, sorry. I'm gonna put in Germany. Paris is a city. My mistake. Paris is a city, not a country. So my apologies to anyone out there in Paris watching. Okay, we're gonna hit save. And there we go. Subsidiary Europe is populated. Okay, we're just gonna do the final part of the branch, which is the Asian part, APJ. So we're going to go back to our decision point, and I'm gonna click edit, and we're just gonna click the plus sign here, and we're gonna add in our third and final branch, APJ. And I'm gonna go down here, and I'm gonna go to our record, and then the billing. just for the sake of this example, I'm just going to do Japan, because we all get how it's working at this point. So just to save some time in the video, I'll just do Japan. Click done. Okay, there's our APJ branch, and I'm going to do another get record. Okay, I'm just going to say get APJ subsidiary record, right? And it's going to say, well, which object are we getting the record from? So we're going to get it from the subsidiary. And it's like, okay, well, how do I identify which record to get by which criteria? So we'll say the name, look for the name field in the subsidiary object where the it equals subsidiary APJ. Okay, and if I just to show you, just for giggles, if I go back to my subsidiary object and show you what that looks like. Okay, there's subsidiary APJ. So we're going to be grabbing this record. Okay, so that looks like it's spelled right because it needs to match. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our assignment, which again is going to do the population of inserting that record in the quote. So populate APJ record in subsidiary field. Okay, so in here it's going to say which field are we going to be assigning the assignment to. So I'm going to say the subsidiary field in the quote. And then we're going to go, and then here's our variables that Salesforce auto created when we did the get records. So I'm just going to choose the appropriate one, and I'm going to choose the APJ one. And I'm going to choose the record ID because, again, we need to, when we're populating records and lookups, fields and such, we need to do it by the ID. So I'm going to click done. Okay. So there's our flow. It meets the business requirements of auto-populating the associated record in a lookup field based on whatever country was put in the bill to country. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video. It was a pleasure for me to show you all how this all works, and I hope you all learned something, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.